The day in history, February 15th, explosions, war, and global protest. Day in history. Today is February 15th, a day marked by events that shaped nations and changed the course of history. From a mysterious battleship explosion to the end of a long war and the largest peace protest ever, this date is filled with incredible moments. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into history. The USS Maine explosion, 1898. On February 15, 1898, a powerful explosion destroyed the USS Maine, a U.S. Navy battleship docked in Havana Harbor, Cuba. 260 American sailors died in the blast, and the event became a turning point in U.S. history. At the time, Cuba was fighting for independence from Spain, and the U.S. had sent the Maine to protect American interests. When the ship exploded, newspapers blamed Spain, without evidence. The press, led by yellow journalism, spread the rallying cry, "Remember the Maine. To hell with Spain." This intense public anger led the U.S. into the Spanish-American War just 2 months later. The war lasted only 4 months but ended with the U.S. gaining Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines, marking America's rise as a global power. To this day, historians debate whether the explosion was caused by a Spanish attack, an accident, or an internal fire. But one thing is certain, this event changed history forever. The end of Soviet occupation in Afghanistan, 1989. Fast forward 91 years, and another major event took place. On February 15, 1989, the last Soviet soldier left Afghanistan, ending a 9-year war that had drained the USSR's resources and power. The Soviet Union had invaded Afghanistan in 1979, trying to support a communist government. But the Mujahideen rebels, backed by the United States, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia, fought back using guerrilla tactics. The war was brutal, with over 15,000 Soviet soldiers dead and countless Afghan casualties. By the late 1980s, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev knew the war was unwinnable. International pressure and heavy losses forced the USSR to withdraw. On February 15, 1989, Soviet General Boris Gromov walked across the Friendship Bridge, marking the official end of Soviet occupation. The withdrawal left Afghanistan in chaos, leading to the rise of the Taliban in the 1990s. This event shaped the conflicts that followed, including the rise of al-Qaeda and later U.S. involvement in Afghanistan after September 11. The largest anti-war protest in history, 2003. On February 15, 2003, nearly 30 million people in 600 cities worldwide participated in the largest anti-war protest in history. This global movement opposed the United States' planned invasion of Iraq. World leaders, especially U.S. President George W. Bush and UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, claimed that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. But many people around the world believed the evidence was weak and that war was unnecessary. The protests were massive. In Rome, over 3 million people marched. In London, 500,000 gathered. Cities from New York to Sydney saw people holding signs and chanting, "No war on Iraq." Despite the protests, the U.S. invaded Iraq on March 20, 2003. No weapons of mass destruction were ever found, and the war led to years of instability and conflict in the Middle East. This protest remains a powerful symbol of global resistance against war. So, there you have it, the day in history, February 15th. From an explosion that led to war, to the withdrawal that shaped future conflicts, to millions standing up against war itself, this date proves how history is shaped by decisions and resistance. Fire, which of these historical moments surprised you the most? Drop a comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily history lessons. See you next time.